Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Dad Bods, Crab Cakes and Sports, where husky middle-aged men share insight on the latest Baltimore sports news. From the bank to the yard and beyond, we're breaking down the Ravens, Orioles, Terps, and more. Baltimore's best sports podcast starts right now. All right, there, everyone in Birdland. We're without Jason tonight, but I'm riding shotgun along my friend John. John, say hi to everybody.
How are you, everybody? Mike, it's good to see you. Glad you're having a good, relaxing week in North Carolina. And say hi to your parents from me. I met them
Absolutely
way
will.
back in the day. It's been probably
Yeah.
30 years, but
Oh man. So we're in Hilton Head. So we're just in South Carolina in Hilton Head. So just north of Savannah, Georgia. And we found this place last year. My parents have a timeshare. And for the most part, we've been going to like Massanutten, Virginia, Virginia Beach. We stayed a little more local, closer to Maryland. But we've kind of branched out to Myrtle Beach. And then Hilton Head we found last year. And the awesome thing about Hilton Head is the bike paths. Like the kids love to ride their bikes. So everywhere on the island is accessible basically by bike path. And you can even ride bikes on the beach in Hilton Head because there's always enough. It's like two football fields from the ocean to the dunes. So there's just so much space. You can throw frisbee. There's little tide pools if you have toddlers that can play out there. You can play bocce. We play this game called tidal ball. I don't know if you ever heard of it, John. But you make a little golf hole on either side. You put a little horseshoe behind it. You dig a little pit, and you each have a ball, and you try to roll it into the hole that you create, a golf ball, and you play back and forth. It's a yard game. So we've been playing that on the beach. It's been a blast. My kids are 9 and 12, a great age to enjoy the beach. There was one minor incident I do have to share for the listeners out there. I have some battle wounds. There's this place, John. Have you ever been to Duck Donuts or any place that has the hot donuts, like Fracture Prune, like that place?
I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever attended or been.
So the whole idea behind these donut places is that they make the donuts hot and then they drizzle the toppings on there so that when you get them, they're warm instead of like, when you go to the grocer case or whatever, they're kind of just, they've been there and they're sitting around, they're just room temperature. So you can get like Oreo donut, you can get like beach ball, cinnamon bun, frosted. They had one with maple and bacon on it that was hot. Like it's pretty awesome. So my bright idea one day was to surprise everybody. Julie and I went out to surprise everybody and get breakfast, and we rode our bikes to Duck Donuts, which is about 2 miles bike ride down and back. Got the donuts. We had this little basket to put them in and try to ride them back, but the donut box doesn't fit in the basket. So I have it balancing. You can see where this is going. I have it balancing on one of the handlebars, and I'm riding it back. And Julie's like, "Man, you are a stud. You should do this delivery service for a living." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm feeling good." And I was wearing flip flops, and my flip flop got caught in the pedal. And they're not the bikes that have the handle brakes; they're the bikes that have the backward pedal brake. So the pedal went backward and stopped, and it threw me over top of the handlebars. I caught myself and like slid on the concrete, and I landed with my head on the Duck Donut box, which basically saved my life. And then there was a little hole in the Duck Donut box. I was just bleeding everywhere. Made my way back home with my tail between my legs. I'm like, "Here's your donuts, everybody. Enjoy." But I had a little dad bod incident there with thinking I was young again, and I wasn't.
Oh wow, Mike. Hey, at least you're okay and you're still here to tell the tale. You know,
Yeah, I'm still
not
alive. I still was able. I taped myself up. I played my rounds of golf today. I played yesterday, and that we were on a golf course, so I can go outside. And I played like 3 holes this evening, and nobody cares. It seems like so. I just took my 7 iron. I played the whole 2 holes with the same exact club up and down. I got a couple bogeys. It was fun. Um, but my kids and I sneak out on the golf course at night, and we each have a different color golf ball, and we'll play like around the green, and we'll try to get closest to the pin, and we'll just toss them like bocce. So our whole family was out there tonight playing. So we have a lot of fun on vacation. But anyway, John, I'm talking all about myself.
just like
Tell me
Tiger
how
Woods and
things
his
are.
daddy.
Right. Tell
Hey,
tell me how
I am.
things are in sunny Florida.
Oh, they're wonderful. It rains here like a monsoon at least once a day. And today I got caught up in that monsoon. I was getting a car and going over to one of the keys had a battery that was dead, and I was going over to get the battery changed. And it just starts opening up and pouring. And of course, I have like khaki golf pants on. Like I wear golf pants to work because they're razor thin. They're thin, and my legs don't get like ultra sweaty. And a button-up shirt with a tie. And I'm walking, and it's only about, I don't know, 25, 30 yards maybe. But I open the door and I take 2 steps out and just everywhere. And I am soaked. I walk into the other building, take the key to the parts and get them to put the battery in, and I'm just drenched. Thankfully, it was like 5 o'clock, and I could leave anytime really after 5, so I got to go home. But you know what? You sold the car, and I was soaked. So I went home and took a nice shower, and I felt refreshed. But I want to talk. There's something I wanted to ask you about, Mike, because I am super excited for the 25th. Do you know what's happening on the 25th of this month?
Of July.
One of the greatest things in my life.
I don't, John. Please share.
Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out on Netflix on Friday this week. I am beyond stoked. Did you know that?
I knew it was in July, and I had seen on ESPN that Scotty obviously won the British this weekend, and then he was at the opening or the premiere. So I knew it was coming out, and I knew it wasn't being open. It's not in theaters though, right? Isn't it on Netflix?
No, it's only on Netflix. So
yeah. My mom was excited because she actually enjoyed Happy Gilmore, the original, and she was like, "Oh man, I hear it's coming out in the movies." I'm like, "It's on Netflix, Mom. Like you're gonna have to share Netflix or find a way to watch it."
Well, did you see what Adam Sandler told King Henry?
So I did notice that there was an exchange. It was something about being in a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah. So he told Derrick Henry that he could star in a remake of The Waterboy if he rushed for 2,000 yards. Because evidently Derrick Henry is friends with one of the guys from back in the Saturday Night Live day. I don't remember the whole connection with Adam Sandler, but he told Derrick Henry that he could star in his next film, which they were talking about being a remake of the Waterboy 2 or something. So,
oh my gosh,
because I think Travis Kelce's. I think there's some pretty big name people in the Happy Gilmore 2. I think Travis Kelce's in here.
A bunch of pro golfers, I think, are in there.
Yeah,
I think there's a bunch of have cameos.
I think so. I thought Rory or somebody of that caliber was in there, and some others. But yeah, I'm very, very excited, very looking forward to that because I can't watch these Orioles games anymore. Making too many freaking like 13, 14-year-old mistakes, and I can't watch it. We get good pitching and can't do anything.
You talk about the downpour that you had. That's kind of like how it feels right now with the Orioles season. We actually, I don't know if it was the same. We're closer. I'm South Carolina here in Florida. I don't know if it was the same rain or not. We got that rain for breakfast this morning. We're sitting outside at this little this place called Coligny, which is like the main part of Hilton Head Island. We're at a place called the Bad Biscuit for breakfast, and it's kind of like Southern fare. And I had a biscuit that was like 4 inches thick. It was ridiculous. It was so good. We're sitting there enjoying ourselves, and the heavens opened. It started raining, and we're underneath one of these overhangs. It's all good. And then all of a sudden, there is a downspout, and then the gutter is like over our heads, and you can see it start filling up, and then it starts dripping on one side, starts dripping down the other. And Julie's like, Mike, and we literally push the table, we vacate the premises, and it just opens up like a waterfall, like where we were sitting, where our food was. And we were, I think I just have the Schlepp Rock gene right now. Bad things are happening around here. So I'm just trying to get out of here unscathed. But you talk about when it rains, it pours. That was a bad moment. Talk about the Orioles like Cedric Mullins today. Why don't you fill everybody in on what happened with him?
So I didn't get a chance to watch the game because I had some other things to do, and I was cleaning up some stuff from work. But like we had second and third with I think one out, and Mullins gets picked off a second base. Yeah, the second and third with one out. It's tied 0-0 with Holiday up in the top of the third. And Mullins gets picked off second base and gets in a rundown and then falls down and they tag him out. Like Eflin gave us a good start today. I just based on the box score and based on what I've read, he get two earned runs over just over 5 innings pitched. but then Mullins in the third, one of your hottest hitters is up. You get picked off second base and you go from, from a double scoring 2 runs to, 2 outs and a runner on first base. And I can't watch baseball like this.
And for those of you, just tuning in and didn't see the game, the Orioles did lose tonight. I believe it was 3-2 final, and they lost now 3 in a row in Cleveland. With, I would say pitching has been here or there. I think it was 10-5 in game 1, 6-3 in game 2, 3-2 in game 3. It's not like they were really out of any of those games late. I know that 10-5 game, it kind of imploded there in like the late innings. I did not like. And I think I'm trying to get into the head of Tony Mansolino and maybe Mike Elias to see what they're doing. I know they're trying to showcase some of these arms and kind of also see at the same time what some of these younger arms can do. I think they're trying to put Soto and Dominguez in places where they can really shine so that their trade value increases. But they're also trying to find places to put in these younger guys like Selby and Corbin Martin and see if they can actually, and Wolfram, and see if they can actually do the job so they know whether or not they can ship these guys off. They have not instilled that confidence. Wolfram had a not very good outing. I think he let up 4 runs the other night. Selby's had 2 subpar outings, and even Gregory Soto, trying to showcase him, had a poor outing the other night, walking guys and letting up runs. So I don't know the idea behind what Elias is doing for sure right now. But if we're showcasing Mullins and showcasing Soto, that kind of it's not working right now. We're definitely not increasing their trade value with what's going on in the games this series in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's just it just is disappointing. Like, O'Hearn again. I mean, as I'm watching more and more of this, O'Hearn's the only guy who's going to give you value back. I mean, tonight he went 1 for 3 with an RBI. I mean, he's hitting, 281. Laureano's hitting 279. He had another hit tonight. And that's all. I mean, that's all that we're seeing that can be considered decent trade pieces, because the bullpen just hasn't been doing what they're doing. And Sir Anthony the other night in Tampa just imploded. And, you give it to him once, okay, he had a bad outing, whatever, it's hot and humid, the ball's slippery, whatever. But it just seems like something's going on. But, and then I see our I'm getting kicked in the butt here for my comments a couple months back about us having overloading catching. And I look at Stallings. Stallings has been with the Orioles for what? 12, he has 12 at-bats with the Orioles in I don't know how many games. And
how many double plays has he grounded into?
Yeah, gosh. Right. And he has three pass balls. I mean,
and he dropped a pop-up behind home plate the other night, right, which would have been, I believe, the third out of the inning, lets the next pitch, and then they scored 2 more runs on a base hit.
Right.
And it wasn't an easy play by any means, but still, a lot of major league catchers, you're always taught to turn around and face just like an infielder when you make that play. He turns late. He's late to get there, and now he's jumping forward into the netting to try to make the play, which makes it almost impossible.
Well, that is the hardest play to make, though. In baseball, one of the hardest plays to make and judge as a catcher is that ball that's popped straight up and then starts blowing back towards the backstop. Like, having played catcher for 15 years of my life, from the time I was 5 until I got hurt in college and was 20, that is the hardest play to make. And I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but you're getting paid to play catcher. You're Earl Weaver in the Earl Weaver book said, well, they're at the big leagues because they're big league players, so we gotta put them out there to play. But there comes a point in time where you got 3 pass balls, you're dropping pop-ups. Like, I know we're kind of between a rock and a hard place with the injuries and whatnot, but I mean, come on, man. We got to figure something. At what point do you say, okay, all bets are off, we're going to bring Basayo? And I don't know how much confidence they have in Basayo's defense or not. But, at what point do you say, okay, it's past the trade deadline, let's bring Basayo up, move Adley to first. We're going to move on from Mountcastle next year, and let's go to town. Let's see what they can actually do together as a unit.
So, just in you're watching the games, John. Just curious with your opinion. We have Alex Jackson. We have Stallings behind the plate right now. Adley's in rehab. He had a double the other day in his rehab assignment. He's working his way back. Hopefully, maybe even by this weekend, we might see them versus the Rockies this weekend, possibly. But with that being said, one of those two is going to go, right? So Stallings or Jackson. Where would you lean right now? Who is performing, up to their capabilities? Who do you think could be a reliable backup at this point with no Maverick Hanley, taking those guys out of the equation? Trump, take him out of the equation. Which of those two guys do you think is performing the best?
I'm going to go with Jackson because, like I told you guys a few weeks ago, my friend Grant Dayton played with him in Atlanta. And in seeing the videos, seeing his swing, seeing the offensive things that he can provide a lot more offense than Stallings can. If you need to slide him into the DH for a day, or you need to move him somewhere else just for one game, let's say we get an injury issue or something, and you got to move somebody somewhere, we can't get a player up soon enough from AAA, he's a decent bat who, when he's on, he can hit the ball. That I think Stallings is going to be gone. But here's the thing that we haven't talked about, and I don't know, I haven't listened to 105.7 much, if at all. But here's the thing that we got to remember too, is that the pitching staff relies as heavily on the catcher as the catcher does on the coaching staff, giving him a good game to call. Because, Adley's played with these guys for a lot longer. He knows the tendencies. He can react to the ball much better than somebody who they just throw in here like Stallings or Jackson. Because, like, just from experience, catching a guy who you know what's going to happen or you can anticipate what's going to happen is a heck of a lot easier than just going out there with a pitcher that you have no clue or no way to anticipate what's going to happen when he lets go of the baseball. And I think as a pitcher too, sometimes you don't have confidence in your catcher if it's a new one, if it's a new guy or somebody you haven't thrown to a lot. And I think that may have some of the impact on the pitching staff as well, because they had confidence, like last year, they had confidence in Adley. They had confidence in McCann, and I don't know how much to read into it, but I guarantee you there's something to do with having confidence with your backstop back there as a pitcher.
Well, I don't know how you feel about this, John, but to me, obviously if Adley's your main catcher, your backup catcher needs to be somebody who's just defensively strong, especially if they're not going to swing the bat well. And when we talk about defensively strong, I'm not just talking about, like you're saying, John, blocking balls, catching, making the routine play, making a tag play at home plate. I'm talking about guys who can call a game, be on the same page with the pitcher, have a good communication. I think all that goes into being a good defensive catcher. And if you're not going to bat at least 250 or 230, then you need to at least be giving us solid defense, throwing out runners once in a while, making the routine plays and maybe a great play once in a while, if that's going to be your backup catcher position. So we've gone through a bunch. We've had Gary Sanchez. We've had, who was an offensive-minded catcher. He's been the best offensive catcher this year. We had Trump. He did okay back there. I like Jackson. I'm with you. I think between the two, Jackson and Stallings, he also has the first-round pedigree, and I think he's the guy who might be able to stick around a little bit longer when some of these guys come back. So I'd be curious to say. The one thing I want to say before we move to 0-2, John, about Laureano, I'm starting to think with Laureano, he's playing a little above his head. He had 2 home runs, one in each of the first 2 games of the Cleveland series. He loves the high ball, anything up high between, chest and above. He likes to drive that ball, and he does a really good job there. And I think his bat is really feeling confident and comfortable right now. I think he's probably playing a little better than he actually is. But defensively, I think he makes the outstanding play, but he'll miss a routine play here and there. Like the other night, he comes charging in on the ground ball and he pops it up in the air, kicks it like 10 feet in front of him, and then they advance another base. Because I think it's a play he's trying to make. I give him credit for being aggressive, but like he is always trying to make the big play. He's also trying to throw runners out all the time and chasing runners. And sometimes you don't need to chase runners. You just need to keep the runners at bay. You need to split runners at first and third instead of letting runners advance and then putting your defense in a jam to now try to keep a runner from scoring without force outs. So I think there's a lot to be said about routine defense as well as the outstanding play. And to me, sometimes he's that guy who tries to chase the outstanding play.
Yeah, I see that too. And you see him, with the cannon arm. But what do they teach you as a young baseball player? Throw it as hard as you can where? Right at the cutoff man's head. Because they're either going to catch it or they're going to get the hell out of the way, and that ball is going to go through to where you want it to go. Where it seems like Laureano is trying to, you remember the Yasiel Puig play where he like spins, and I don't remember who it was at third base, and the guy's like jogging in, and the ball goes right by him, right to the third baseman, and it's like this is probably what 2010, 2011, something like that. Is way back. We know what I'm talking about, right? He is at Dodger Stadium, and
Yep.
Laureano's trying to make that play
He's
every
in the left
time.
field corner, right? Down all the way in the left field
Right,
corner.
right field line. Yeah, right to third
You're
base.
talking about that play. Okay, yeah, I know the one.
There was a couple of them, right? But he just turns on a line. Just I think it was like 109 miles an hour or something, and just. But that's what Laureano is trying to do every single time, and all that's doing is hurting your team. Hit the bump, cut off man, and let him do his job because that's why he's there. And I don't know. I just think that that's something where okay, they were expecting because O'Neill has an arm too. That if O'Neill's healthy and out there in the outfield, he can throw the baseball.
I think he has two arms, John. I think he has two arms.
Yeah, he has two arms. Yeah, I did watch the video on Jim Abbott. By the way, that was a good documentary. I talked about that the other night. But no, he, if they can get him back, he's got the arm too. But just it comes down to, as George Knox says, we got to concentrate on fundamentals in the middle of the season because we're not doing that and it's hurting us. Mullins getting picked off at second base, the overthrows, the catcher's not making the easy plays, and that's going to just keep coming back. I know, Mike, I want to get your opinion on this. Is how much do we miss James McCann?
Oh, just his leadership and just steady. Like, I think he held those guys accountable. Like, we need someone who's like, hey, the baseball play is this. We split runners. The baseball play is we're going to make sure we throw the ball. We've had force plays at bases and we can't throw it to the base. They're pulling catchers off a home plate. It's just some of the stuff. We're walking guys with the best hitter on deck. Like, there are so many things that you just can't do if you want to win baseball games that have just added and stacked over time that have now made this team. What are they? Close to 15 games under 500. They're 9 games out of the wild card. There is no chance this team is making the playoffs because they continue to make the same mistakes. They had a good little run there in late June, early July. Now we're seeing some of those same mistakes. We're injured again, and I just don't see it happening. And now you're going to see an influx of younger guys coming up. You're going to see some of our veteran guys get traded away, and it's probably going to be a growing process through the month of August. It's going to be a very difficult product to watch, I'm going to guess, through the month of August. So I hope O's fans are preparing themselves for what's to come and don't expect it to be an automatic, just beautiful thing once we get these young guys up here and have too high of expectations of what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think that, again, I'm going to go back to this, that I think a lot of our pitching problems have come from the fact that we haven't had a steady catcher on a regular basis back there. And I think that they let James McCann go way too soon, that they saw Gary Sanchez as a platoon player who can give Adley a day off behind the plate, provides a solid bat in the DH spot, as well as a potential first baseman. And I think that Mike Elias put way too much weight in that, in having a guy who is a bat and can provide other offense than he did in the leadership. Like you said, Mike, in the leadership, in the the toughness. That James McCann brings a toughness to your baseball team that few players in today's game can. I mean, the guy freaking broke his nose and his orbital bone and played the rest of the game. I mean, come on, man. That was probably last offseason. That was probably my biggest complaint, was not hanging on to McCann and leaving him there on that roster.
Well, I'm going to move us along. So the Orioles have Charlie Morton going in the finale tomorrow in Cleveland, hoping to salvage one game out of that 4-game set, and
It's an
then
afternoon game, right?
I believe so, and
I
then
think
they
it's 110.
host. I think we host Colorado for 3. Is that correct?
Yes.
After that for the next series. So um, I don't know. Colorado's the the bottom feeders of baseball right now. They're even worse than the White Sox, which is saying something. So you have Colorado, and you've got them coming to town. You got to win 2 or 3. You think there to feel like you're even a real baseball team, but I
Yeah.
don't see them turning things around anytime soon.
Because then you
I
got the
think
Blue Jays for 4. Then you got the Blue
oh,
Jays Monday, 2 on Tuesday, and 1 on Wednesday.
that's a quick 4 too, like jammed
Right.
in. That's a tough series. A
And then
lot
you
of ask
got
there.
then you got a Thursday off. Then you got the Cubs, at the Philly. Oh, that's kind of nice. I mean, this might be something that to look at is right after the trade deadline. We play 3 afternoon games at the Cubs. We play 2:20 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then we play the Phillies, the A's, and the Mariners. So we have 3 weeks here where we could pick up a few games here or there.
Yeah, in the midst of the trade deadline too. So you don't even know what we're going to be running out there. Is Eflin going to be here? Is Sagano going to be here? Are O'Hearn and Mullins going to be in the lineup? It's going to be an interesting couple weeks that as Oriole fans that we run into. Speaking of interesting, it looks really dark, but I think I see one of our colleagues joining us. Are you in New Jersey there, Jason?
He's frozen. He's
Well,
frozen.
it's a little colder up there, but I don't think he's absolutely frozen.
I don't know.
Oh, his screen is frozen, John. You're right. But I think
Yeah.
I see it. It's kind of creepy looking right now if you're on YouTube with this live. It's kind of scary. But I think Jason's going to try to hop on here at some point tonight, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But, John, can you just tell everybody where they can find us?
Yeah, we're on all the social media platforms. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Dadbods Crab Cakes and Sports. You can email us Dadbods Crab Cakes and Sports at gmail.com. We're on X at I believe it's Crab Cakes and Sports on X, and then we're on Facebook Live every Monday every Sunday night and Wednesday night at about 9:30. We try to be, and if we come on other times, we'll let everybody know through Facebook and Instagram. We'd love to hear from you guys and give us some games and your insight into what we can help, how can help us grow and things that we could do for you.
Thanks, John. I appreciate it, man. So let's switch gears from one bird to another, from orange to purple, because I don't know if you've heard, but this little thing called training camp has started here today in Owings Mills, Maryland. And while I couldn't get a ticket, there was quite a stir over my man Lamar taking care of business at camp today, and his Louisville friend Jair Alexander standing out today at practice. John, did you have a chance to catch any of the Ravens training camp news?
Yeah, I did actually, Mike. And please don't insult them. It's Louisville, not Louisville. No, it's Louisville.
I'm
Yeah,
from Baltimore, hun. So I just say what I think, and I'm going to do what I can. So they're just lucky that I remembered there's an S in it. So whatever.
Louisville. Okay. So anyway, no, they looked good. You can see, guys like, I'm very excited about Keaton Mitchell. That he seems like he's back to where he was in his rookie year before his injury. Roquan saying this is the best defense I've ever played with. Could be, one of the best defenses Baltimore has ever had. And that's saying something when, you look at the 2000 defense, with Ray Lewis and, Rod Woodson and all of those guys and how historically great that team was. So I'm very excited just in reading and seeing some of the clips and things, seeing DeAndre Hopkins making the DeAndre Hopkins plays, making the DeAndre Hopkins catches, that if he's your third wide receiver, it's going to be a nightmare for defenses to have to get, and like we talked about before, what did you say about Keaton Mitchell? That he's going to be the biggest matchup problem on this
Problem on
offense.
offense. Correct.
So
So
I'm looking forward everything I'm reading, assuming, again, knock on wood, but assuming everyone stays healthy and we come out of training camp relatively unscathed on the health side. It's looking very good, Mike. I'm very, very I was excited about the O's starting the season, but still with a little bit of hesitancy. But with the Ravens, I'm very excited, and I am pumped for the football season to start.
So before we get too far into things, we thought it would be fun tonight to talk about the top 3 things that we are looking for from the Baltimore Ravens training camp over the next few weeks as we gear up for the 2025 NFL season in Baltimore. So what we're going to do is just kind of go around. Let's talk about the top 3 things that you are looking forward to or are looking for in training camp. And I'll start with my first one, and that to me is the biggest, is health. Is this team able to stay healthy in training camp? Because I feel like every season there's at least one big injury that sets the team backwards. And that's not just the Ravens, that's all over the NFL. And it's just when you get 90 guys out there training, these things are going to happen. You're going to cut wrong. You're going to tweak wrong. These guys are lifting so much weight. They're just strong men, and they're cutting and all the flexibility and stuff. Even with the best conditioning and training in the world, somebody's going to get hurt. So the question for me is, can we dodge the major bullet? And even more importantly, which ones can we absorb and which ones can't we absorb? So, for example, if you lose Lamar Jackson and he goes down with an ACL injury in training camp, that changes the entire complexion of the season. Um, if you lose any number of other players, there's probably some ways to kind of work around those. So, to me, the health of the Ravens in training camp is the number one thing I'm looking for heading into the season. John, how about you? What's one of your on your list?
Well, on the top of my list, I think is something we haven't had to worry about in a lot of years, but it's going to be our kicking game. Is which one of the rookie kickers can distance himself from the other, and what can Harbs is an expert in special teams. What can he do to ensure that our kicking game is going to be, it obviously cannot be up to the standards of Justin Tucker. We didn't draft Justin Tucker 2.0, but what can we do to make sure that our kicking game is on par and that we're not going to be losing games on a missed extra point or a missed field goal or something, because that's a huge problem for teams like the Vikings and the Browns and things like that.
Right. And Tyler Loop looked good today. He was 6 for 6 in practice, and Hoyland was 4 for 5, and the one he missed was wide left from about 40 yards out. I'm really curious to see how that battle goes as well throughout training camp. Jason, are you with us?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Welcome in, buddy. Good to see you.
I
You
like
as
that.
well.
Is it cold there, Jason? Because you're growing that beard out.
No, and you can stop speaking now.
Uh-oh. Timeout for
I don't
John.
like. I don't appreciate the insults, John.
You
It
hurt
wasn't an
Jason's feelings,
insult.
John.
It wasn't an
I
insult,
just
Jason.
did.
I wish I could grow a beard. I still have
John,
like a baby face
I feel like you focus a lot of time on mine and Mike's facial hair. Is that like
because I'm
an like? Is
jealous.
that? Are you okay?
I'm jealous. I can't grow anything more than a mustache. I'm very
All
jealous of,
right.
of the full face of hair. I mean, I probably have more
Well,
hair on my head than you do, but you know, I'm very
what you do
jealous
is
of the
you just go through periods of not feeling like shaving, and then there you are.
beard. Yeah,
Jason,
I
you're
kind of
you're
have to
on
shave for my
location,
job.
Jason, right? Tell the listeners where you're at right now, buddy.
I am currently in Harford County, Well, I guess I'm on the border of Baltimore and Harford County. I'm right near, outside of Kingsville, I guess you can call it. But we are in a holding pattern for a couple of days until we head to Ocean City, New Jersey for our family's vacation. So today was a travel day. It's why I was late. And oh my goodness. So I don't know if you guys have been on a plane lately. I know you have, Mike, but delays are abound. And we had to wait an hour in the airport, which is fine unless you have an autistic child. And
Oh
let me
boy.
tell you, everything that goes into your travel plans is circled around that. So when you're throwing a curveball, not so good. Then we get on the plane. It's great. Finally on the plane. And then you find out that the Wi-Fi is going to be out the entire flight. And then the meltdown happens because the iPad won't be able to be used.
Oh no.
But then you realize that your superhero of a wife downloaded all of his videos and commercials that he watches onto a folder and saved the day. But then, just then, you find out that you'll be sitting on the runway for another 45 minutes until you take off. So if it was just me, I'd have gone to sleep, I'd have been fine. Someone would have had to woke me up because I would have missed my flight. And when I got on the plane, I'd fallen back asleep again. But when I'm with my children, so that's what I dealt with today. So I thought I'd come on here just to decompress for a little bit.
Well, we're glad that you've made it because that sounds like a little bit of a nightmare. But I'm sure that the weather in Florida makes it a little more difficult to get off the ground sometimes. I don't know. I've had issues landing in Florida a couple times, and even when we left from Florida. So I'm sure that you guys handled that as best as you possibly could. We're glad you're safe in Maryland, in my hometown, and I'm out here in. We missed each other, Jason. I'm sad we missed each other.
I know. It's okay. I just saw my brother for the first time in 2 years. I was like, oh my goodness. So trying to catch up and see some people here and there. It's been much too long.
Well, we are just discussing, Jason, that Ravens training camp started today, and we're coming up with our top 3 things that we are looking for out of training camp. So I had explained that health was the thing that I'm looking for the most, and John talked about the kicker battle. Do you have anything that you're looking for in training camp coming up this next few weeks?
Oh man. I mean, obviously, like you said, health is always the thing. I think every single team, every fan of every team is saying health like this time of year. Preseason football is one of my least favorite things because of that. Like I gear up, I can't wait. I'm huge into fantasy, as you guys know. I'm huge into the NFL, and then one of the like I don't know, Jamal Lewis goes down in training camp with a torn ACL, and your repeating Super Bowl hopes are over with. So it's like, oh crap. So that's a big one for me. But really, I would like to see more of the offensive line coming together. They're already pretty good, um, but really just meshing, like having your set guys and just meshing and seeing who those 1 to 2 backup guys, those swing guys are going to be through the offensive line. I think that's a huge one.
Well, you saw
Yeah,
Falele dropped a bunch of weight. That
I
Falele, they were
mean,
saying he dropped a bunch of weight, and they said he's much quicker, much leaner, and much more athletic than he was last year. And being a guard,
how could you
that's potentially a good thing.
how could you tell? The man's huge. Like he could lose 20 pounds and no one even notice. He's just a freaking tower.
yeah, and I think John Harbaugh had said it earlier is he'd like to get that offensive line figured out sooner rather than later, so he can start figuring out what he's got and where he needs to plug and play, and who the other rotational pieces are going to be on the line. And obviously, that makes a huge difference for the continuity of the team when your offensive line can play together from beginning to end of the season. And we've seen McCary be a big part of that as a swingman back and forth throughout the line and plug and play, where they do not have that luxury necessarily this year depending on who steps up into those positions. So I'm interested in that too, Jason. My second thing I'm looking at is kind of how they're going to deploy the secondary. Like, what's it going to look like? I know you have Malachi Starks in there now as your other safety to play with Kyle Hamilton. We talked about maybe putting Kyle Hamilton down the box and letting him do his thing as a linebacker or a pass rusher or a nickel guy, just kind of be a jack of all trades. Is that how they're going to actually play it? Also, with Jair Alexander now, is Marlon going to push inside more to the slot? You have Nate Wiggins on the outside. So you have a bunch of pieces. Also, who's going to win that battle between Bo Braid and Sanusi Kane, maybe to be that next safety guy up? who gets the more playing time there, or if they're playing in a dime package or something like that, and they need an extra guy. So I'm curious how that secondary is going to be deployed as training camp goes along.
So my number 2 on this, and it kind of falls into sort of the same thing you do, but it's going to be the pass rush. Is how is it going to be deployed? How is Adafe Owe and Mike Green and Kyle Van Noy, how are they going to all three work together? How big of a step forward will Mike Green take? And then will, Kyle Hamilton being in the box, will that help, all of them? And then will, you know, um, Nnamdi Madubuike there in the middle. How much is, he dropped off a little bit last year, but because he was getting, double, triple teamed and things. And what's going to end up happening there now that we brought in, Mike Green, who supposedly, according to all accounts, is one of, if not the best pass rusher taken in that draft last year. So that's going to be my thing, is kind of how we're going to do our pass rush and how we're going to incorporate all of those different pieces of unconventional and conventional pass rushing into the mix. Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I guess mine would be the backup running back share, because it from all accounts, Keaton Mitchell seems to be ready to roll, but they love and I love Justice Hill. I mean, he's just a football player. Like he's that guy that gets in there, does all the stuff that you need. His pass blocking is great. He's great in third downs. He can catch the ball. But Keaton Mitchell is that special joystick that, when he's 100%, he can do things that no one else can do on the football field. So I'd be curious to see what type of split between those two you see, and who kind of emerges. And if I am a betting man, I would say they both end up playing an awful lot this year.
Yeah, that would be really interesting to see them being deployed, maybe together, or complementary players in different sounds and situations. It's nice to have a whole stable. They like to use the term stable, right, when it comes to running backs, and have those guys kind of be deployed in different ways depending on the down and distance. I really love Keaton Mitchell as an explosive big play guy, though, another big play guy in this offense. So I'd be excited to see. And John was saying he was hearing that he looks super fast at camp, like the fastest guy at camp right now. So that's super exciting. My number 3 on the list is inside linebacker to play with Roquan. Like, who is that going to be? Trenton Simpson, by all accounts, looks really good as far as physical conditioning is concerned. I even saw a picture of him today. He looks like he's a little bit ripped, like more jacked than he was last year coming to camp. So maybe that tells me he's taking it a little bit more seriously, understanding that it's a gift that is not given, but it's earned. Something he's going to have to earn this year, especially with them, with Teddy Buchanan coming in, maybe to challenge that position potentially. So I'm looking to see how that other inside linebacker position kind of plays out as far in training camp. Is it all Simpson? Are they splitting reps? Is there somebody else that we're not thinking of? Maybe an undrafted guy that has an opportunity there, especially with Malik Harrison not being in the fold anymore at linebacker. There's not as many options. So that's another thought I had.
Well, mine is going to be is what kind of next leap forward can Isaiah Likely take? Can he use his speed, his athletic, the gifts that he has that are different than the gifts of Mark Andrews, right? Mark Andrews is to find the open spot, sit in the open spot, be that open target, where Likely is much more athletic, much quicker, and seeing what kind of steps forward he can take into being that kind of 1A, 1B tight end. Instead of being the number 2 tight end, be the 1B to Mark Andrews 1A and give this offense another big play guy who can, throw the ball up to and catch. Because that's not Mark Andrews' skill set. His skill set is not jump balls, where Isaiah Likely's is. So what can he do to take another step forward from last year, where he clearly turned himself into a 1A tight end in this league and showing that he can do it. He has the skills. He has the ability to be a 1A tight end. And then kind of off that is also kind of what is the contract situation going to be throughout camp. And then at the end, who are we going to sign to extensions? Who are we going to, have to push that off to. Jason, how about you? What's your number 3?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't want to say my number three is a cop out, but my number three would be is who do they bring in? Because the Ravens are notorious for later in training camp or right when things start, they always seem to bring in a guy. So I'm gonna roll the dice and say it's gonna happen again. But who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Jadeveon Clowney? Is it going to be a safety? Is it going to be offensive line help? I mean, is it going to be something we're not even thinking about? But I do think they will do something, and God forbid, I just whew, please help me that it's not because there was a massive injury that happened. They have to bring someone in, but I want the embarrassment of riches and them to bring somebody in, and because this year is obviously the year they're putting it all in to try to make a run.
If I was a betting man, which I do like to gamble a little bit, I think Clowney is probably a good chance. And I've read a few things too that he would love to go back to Baltimore. Baltimore would love to have him back, but it's going to be a salary cap and then kind of a where do you put him? So I would love to see Clowney though. I really liked him when he was here.
I mean, I guess my honorable mention would be, I think Jalen Armour Davis, they said, had a really good practice today at corner. Does he have an outside shot still maybe to outplay TJ Tampa or something like that, maybe make the roster? I think this is his last gasp, probably right at this point, to try to make the team. So I'm curious if there's anyone outside of who we're thinking. The roster seems pretty set. I mean, it's not perfectly set, but most of the positions are taken. I'd be curious to see who steps up for those last couple spots. Does David Ajabo show up sometime in camp? Any of these guys who we've been waiting to do something. Trenton Simpson, become the next guy we've been waiting for. There's a couple of those guys that just haven't done it. Does anybody show out? And the Ravens are known to have a guy like that here or there who's able to, after a few years, kind of have something click and then become a much better player. I don't know if that happens this year, but I'm certainly interested. Obviously after day one of training camp, health is good. Zay Flowers had a little bit of scare today, they said, but he's fine, which is good. But everybody seems healthy on day one. Anything you guys want to add about training camp or anything you want to talk about Ravens?
I
I'm
guess the
actually
only thing.
interested. Oh, sorry, John. Go ahead.
Well, the thing I'm interested in is seeing who can take over for Michael Pierce. Which of the two guys, whether it's Jones or Washington, which one of them is going to step up and take over that nose tackle spot? Who's going and how are they going to, perform now that they're the man in charge? Because we don't have, Pierce was a cornerstone on that set. I mean, both figuratively and literally, cornerstone in the middle of the defense. Who's going to step up and take that nose tackle job?
One of the other things that I'm really interested to see is the progression of Tez Walker. Have some weird feeling he's going to play a very big role for them. I don't know. When I say a big role, he could play a big role with some big moments in some games. I don't know if he's going to be their third best receiver or not. I think eventually he will, or at least that's their goal. But everything I've heard up to this point is all good. So I'm really curious to watch that to see if he really establishes himself as one of the top guys there.
No, that's a good point, Jason. And then there's that kick return thing, right? Wallace or Wester, and do we have some explosion in our game? They really lacked that last year. So maybe, that's another thing to keep an eye on as far as camp comes. But we'll keep getting reports. We'll keep every time we have a little show, we'll keep updating people on what's going on in Ravens country here. If I can sneak out at some point to camp, I'll try to. It was really hard to get a ticket. But we'll be keeping you all up to date on what's going on with those other purple birds that now give us a little bit of ray of hope as July comes and August comes, as our orange and black birds aren't doing so hot right now.
Any chance we move Mitchell back there? Have Mitchell returning kicks? What do you guys think? I mean, he's explosive, and if we don't, I mean, Wallace shows he can do it, but not regularly. You'd think a guy like Mitchell might get a shot at a couple punt returns here or there just because he is so dang on fast.
Well, are we talking punt returns or kick returns?
Either or.
Two
He was
big.
taking kick returns last year. He was returning
Yeah, I mean,
kicks last year.
those are two very different things. I mean, I'm okay with Wallace doing it. Like, really, I mean, until he's not, I guess, right? Like, look, if you're able to really break something loose on one of these things, that's just gravy on top of it. You want to secure the ball, you want to get positive yardage. That's really all you're looking to do on those things. If you remember, Mike, when we used to go to those games back in the day, they would put Ed Reed back there when they wanted like a spectacular opportunity, and then both of us would have our hands on our head saying, "Please don't lateral the ball. Just hold on to the football."
Please don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Right. And don't get hurt. You're one of the best players on the field, easily. So for me, it's like it would make sense. I would. They're going to try to get that man on the field as much as possible, John. So I do think that they're going to try to get him in many different situations.
Yeah, I mean, I think that should help our special teams immensely, having all those guys like that. Even as gunners and that kind of stuff, it's going to make your team a lot better. Hopefully, that facet of the team will be excellent this year. All right, so anything that you guys would like to discuss in the wide world of sports? I know we're going to wrap up today with Blast from the Past. We haven't done that in a while. But is there anything on your minds as far as sports-wise? I know I really enjoyed your discussion, by the way, the other night on the WNBA and on the president and what he's doing with some of these names and that kind of stuff. So I'm glad that you guys were able to touch on some of those things. Is there anything else on your minds, boys, before we get to Blast from the Past?
Well, Jason, you didn't hear what I'm excited about this week.
Oh boy. Did you get a new suit jacket with one with an air conditioning in it or something?
Yeah. Well, I
New
saw
pair
one
of
of those
boots?
I saw one of those on Temu. I'm not ready to order one of those yet, Jason, but not far off. No, Happy Gilmore 2 comes out on Friday
Oh,
on
that's
Netflix.
fabulous. I saw that as well. Yes. Oh,
I'm
that's
so
outstanding.
excited. I told Mike earlier in the show that I'm like so excited. I'm gonna rush home from work and just plop my fat ass down in the chair and watch the movie.
Oh, that's
Hey,
fantastic.
John, here's what I want you to do tomorrow. Or when is the premiere?
25th,
So that's what, Friday?
Friday.
I want
yes.
you to meet me on the 9th green at 9, and we'll watch it together, okay?
Well done.
the
Well
price
done.
the price is wrong.
Oh, wow. Fabulous.
Hey,
Bitch.
God rest Bob Barker's soul.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
All right, so who would like, John, would you like to go first with Blast from the Past here?
Sure, I'll go first.
Oh, man, I got to
Um,
research. Give me a minute. Go ahead. I'll listen.
Okay,
Go for it,
so
man.
this guy played for the A's, the Orioles, the Yankees, the Angels, and the A's again. He won multiple awards in his career, including an MVP, a World Series MVP, Silver Sluggers, and a four-time AL home run leader. He was a 14-time All-Star. He played for the Orioles in 1976.
Is it Reggie Jackson?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Awesome.
I figured
When
I figured you would know him. He's before our time, but I figured you would know him.
Absolutely, John. And it's funny because you were saying all these things. I'm going through all these old, like I said, Geronimo Barroa. No, that can't be it. Because you would say something like he won 14. I'm like, that's not it. And so then all of a sudden you said the year. And that's really what keyed me into it. Because I'm like, okay, it's an older player. Because I'm thinking 90s, 2000s. And then I figured it out. But
Right.
all right, John and Jason. Two Jasons are on the screen. I don't know what's
Oh,
happening.
that's
Things
weird.
are. I'm seeing double. Where's
There you
Foreigner?
go.
I can
Nice.
play the Double Vision song, John. Can you cue that up?
All right. Did you
Um,
get it, John? Or did
Get what?
Mike get it?
Mike got it. Yeah, it was Reggie
did.
Jackson.
Who?
Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. I figured it was before our time, but you guys could figure that one out.
So my guy is a Raven. Okay, so I picked a Raven for Blast from the Past today. Born July 2nd, 1982. Jason, isn't that the same year you were born?
Yes. Wrong month. I was born in August, but yes, very close.
Yeah, but close. This gentleman was drafted by the Ravens in 2005. and he played for only two teams, the Baltimore Ravens and the Rams, which were in St. Louis at that point in time.
Okay.
Got it yet? No? All right. BCS national champion in 2000. BCS national championship in 2000.
So that was Ohio. No, that was Oklahoma State or Oklahoma. Excuse me.
Two-time first team All-American and two-time first team All Big 12. NFL career numbers.
Mark Clayton.
200 and, say it again.
Mark Clayton.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. 260 career receptions, 3,448 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns.
That's fabulous. Okay, so I have bad news. I have nothing for you
Okay.
That's okay.
because I'm doing this show.
Jesse Orozco.
All right. Well done. Unfortunately, I am doing the show from my phone because the Wi-Fi in this house is not very good. So I'm
Are
using-
you
that
who,
a- is
are
that-
you
is-
Ubaldo Jimenez? Is that who you are?
yes. And,
You have nothing for me.
I have nothing for you. Baseball been very, very good to me.
Well,
Are you
so
at your brother's house?
No, I'm at my
Okay.
friend Bob's house, his guest house, and the Wi-Fi is very spotty at best.
Oh, okay. Okay.
well, we're glad that you were able to hop in here with us, Jason, to wrap it up. And I'm excited about trading camp coming up again, switching gears from baseball to football a little bit. We will not forget about our Orioles. Trade deadline's coming up. A lot of exciting things going on. I'm sure we'll be Dad Bods will be on there to break any news that happens as far as the trade deadline is concerned. We're all over the place right now. I'm in South Carolina. Jason will be in New Jersey. John's still selling cars in Florida. But we'll be sure to keep you up to date on whatever is going on in the wide world of sports. Anything to add before I wrap up tonight, gents?
Nothing.
I just want to give a shout out to Southwest Airlines. I know they get a bad rap for a lot of stuff, but let me tell you guys, if you're a family out there, if you have a special needs child, I give 100% kudos to the staff of Southwest Airlines every single time that we get on there. They let that little boy run up and down and terrorize that airplane. And they did it all with a smile on their face. And they do it every single time. And we almost got off the airplane because the internet was not working, because we knew what was going to happen. And they came over and said, doesn't matter. Everything's going to be fine. We'll make it work. So kudos to Southwest Airlines. I will continue to fly with you. You have my business. Sorry for stealing that mic. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's good to hear that some places still know how to handle people.
Oh, we're
as a business
sponsored
with
by
people,
Delta,
so-
Jason.
That's right.
Sorry. So sorry.
Well,
That's-
that's going to wrap it up for tonight's episode of Dad Bods Crab Cakes and Sports. Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your free podcasts. And while you're at it, please don't forget to leave us a review. It really helps us out. Throw those stars up there for us. We're trying to spread the good word about Baltimore sports far and wide. Be sure to follow us on social media for more behind-the-scenes action, memes, bad sports takes, polls. You can find us at dadbods_crabcakes_sports on Instagram and at dadbods crabcakes and sports on our Facebook page. If you have a question or topic you'd like us to cover, hit us up at dadbodscrabcakesandsports@gmail.com. You never know, we might just shout you out in our next episode. But until next time, keep rocking those dad bods, eating those crab cakes, and never miss the game.
Adios.
Adios.